Whether you love or hate the concept of influencers and content creators, I think you'd be really hard-pressed to find somebody who doesn't find the idea of working for yourself and getting paid to talk about the products you love to be an attractive one. And I think the fact that there's a lot of kids out there that say they want to be a YouTuber when they grow up goes further to show that this is a very aspirational path, or hashtag goals, as the kids would say. I'm such a millennial. And as somebody who is now a year into being a full-time influencer content creator, I find that there's just a lot of misunderstandings around what this job actually entails. I mean, come on. The joke that I get paid to take a selfie with a product and it takes about 10 seconds work is getting a little old. But actually, the more I talk to people, the more I realize that they aren't joking when they say that. They think that that is truly what being an influencer is. And I think back in its original form, when celebrities were posing with like the skinny tees and everything, that really was the job. Like Kim Kardashian could, and probably still can, snap a quick photo with a product and post it and get paid millions. But for the rest of us, that's not really how it works, and that's not where influencer marketing is currently. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to cover 10 things that nobody really tells you about being an influencer. And no, they're not all bad, but they're not particularly glamorous either. So first, and I think depending on who you follow, you might have actually heard some people say this, but it's a lot of work. I do, of course, want to acknowledge that being an influencer is a freaking privileged job. Anyone who says otherwise is out of touch. But it is a job that requires a lot of time and self-discipline, and it's so much work that the bigger creators, especially on YouTube, usually have teams behind them. People that they pay full time to ease the load and maintain consistency. And I think that's really important to remember if you are a creator getting stuck in that comparison loop and you're actually comparing yourself to somebody who has a full team behind them to create what they're creating while you're operating solo. And on the topic of work, a brand deal is never just snap a picture and go. Separate from all of the administrative stuff of negotiating, going back and forth, usually a paid collaboration will go through many steps. Usually you'll receive a brief, you'll read it over, you'll send over a concept, they'll approve or decline the concept, you will shoot it, send it over, they'll approve, decline, provide feedback, and then you're good to post. And then at the end, you're often sending a report on how it performed. Again, not saying that that's the most difficult thing in the world, but it's time consuming and actually makes content creating feel like more of a job than a lot of people think. Number two, it can be really isolating. I think you see this isolation really rear its head when you look at creators who blew up really quickly on social media and didn't have time to build out a community in this space. And despite seeming like a really extroverted job, being a content creator is a lot of sitting alone in front of your computer and talking to yourself in front of the camera. Number four, you lose a lot of people's respect. I especially feel this going from somebody who is working a very traditional day job. I would say my job title, and even though nobody really knew what it meant, they respected it. Just this like, oh, she's got a grown-up job, set with a pension and everything. And I consciously knew that when I left my day job and pursued content creating that I would lose all of that. And I did. I especially noticed it when I would introduce myself to new people. And I remember I once said to a woman I had just met that I was like an influencer / content creator. And she literally goes, I wouldn't tell people that if I were you. And it's like, it's just not a great feeling. I get it, but it sucks. Number five is really similar and probably doesn't come as a surprise to a lot of people. It's just that you have to get used to negativity and people making assumptions about you and misunderstanding you. You can't justify yourself to everybody. You can't explain yourself to everybody. And I feel like on the internet, people are even quicker to say that you are a waste of space or to question your intentions or how you said something or if you actually like the product you're promoting. And it's not necessarily that you have to be okay with it. It's just that you have to have the strength to not let it get you down. Number six, you will be forever explaining to people how you make money. That's actually why I made this video, because it's an easy place to refer people who are asking. And I find that a lot of people come to me like genuinely confused and curious, people who are concerned, who are well-meaning and want to make sure like, are your bills paid? Are you doing okay? And then people who just absolutely can't wrap their head around how this works. And if that's you, definitely check this video out. Number 7, there's a lot of financial uncertainty. Certain types of content creating and certain income streams do allow for more predictability, but overall, the consensus among content creators is that you don't really know what's around the corner. Even if you've signed a fantastic contract with a brand and you've invoiced them for your work, it can take a really long time to get paid. Net 90s are not uncommon in this space. Number 8, your work is mostly inbound. A lot of aspiring content creators get hyper-focused on pitching, but the reality is the majority of full-time creators haven't pitched in ages. A lot of their work is inbound. They're just focusing on putting out great content and making sure they are easily found. Speaking of money, just like across most industries, there is a huge discrepancy in compensation and opportunities based on your race and gender. There's been a lot of studies and conversations out there around the pay gap between Black creators and white creators. And we do what we can to speak up about it, but because there's not a lot of transparency in this space, the needle's not really moving very fast. And number 10, the pressure of keeping up with the algorithmic hamster wheel is huge. Another leading cause of burnout. Because at the end of the day, if you are a content creator focused on creating content for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you are at the mercy of these platforms. You don't own them. They can change their algorithm. They can cut off your reach. They can disband your account. You could get hacked, and it's all over. And because we often feel at the mercy of these algorithms, it's easy to get caught up in chasing them and trying to please them, which can lead a lot of people to feeling less like a creator and more just like a machine pumping out content to feed the masses. And even though that doesn't sound so bad, because it's like, okay, well, you're still getting paid to create content, losing that creativity and self-expression makes a lot of people question why they started this to begin with. Let me know what you thought of this list, and to my fellow content creators, definitely drop more below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time. I think I should have added to the list how difficult it is to shoot when you have loud neighbors in an old building.